Hello, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. And it is Tuesday night, a couple minutes after 8, thanks to technical difficulties. I haven't had those in a while, so I was a little, whoa, wait a minute, I forget what I have to do here. But we figured it out. And so here we are for Tuesday night stamping. If you are on, give me a shout out. We know that you're here. I have very little housekeeping tonight because it's July 1, right? So I don't have just cards to show you because I haven't designed just cards for July yet. That's my job tomorrow. I'll be designing all the just cards tomorrow. So you'll get to see them hopefully you'll get to see them in Friday's newsletter. Hey, Judy, good to see you. So really the only thing I have to talk about tonight is other than the online exclusives launched today for July. So there's some holiday out there. There's some Halloween, some Christmas, some everyday. There's a really cute tractor bundle with Christmas and fall and all of that in it. Some cool papers and some of those things that I unboxed for you when we were together a couple weeks ago. So make sure you're checking those out. We're going to play with what I am sure is going to sell out very quickly. So if you fall in love with this or have already fallen in love with this, because you may have seen projects that other folks have done with it, I would highly encourage you to place your order sooner rather than later. But the only other thing is, yep, the virtual retreat album is still available. It is not really an album. It is all the supplies to create an album. You would need to have an album to put the pages in. But it is called Month to Month, and you're going to get a 2-page spread for 12 months, so 24 pages. I know that it has some exclusive stamp sets in it and some other goodies that you will use along with your page protectors, your 12 by 12 cardstock, all of that you will need to create the pages. So if that's something that's been on your wish list, now's the time to pull that trigger, right? Because that will be coming up here in a couple of weeks. But as of tonight, it was still available in the online store. So I just wanted to give you one final reminder about that, and don't miss that if you're interested in that. That'll be fun. Okay, so we have Deborah. Hello, Miss Deborah. Hey, Debbie. You guys all have different emblems behind your names now. That's new. Hey, Thelma. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Carol Zezer. Yeah, I know. We had a wicked storm last night and we had another wicked storm tonight. I have a friend in Maryland and it hit down there first, and he sent me a text and he said, watch out for the weather because it was really crazy down there. They lost power for several hours. Oh, and it's storming now where Deborah is in New York. Yeah, so I'll be glad when those are over. I don't really mind thunderstorms, but when the windows in the house start rattling, then I get a little nervous. And of course, today's was during the day, so I was here home alone. But anyway, we are gonna play with, and I know this is hard to see, but this is the new 3D sunflower embossing folder. Um, Obviously, it's one of the big ones. You can do a full half sheet of cardstock in there at one time. And I've got 3 projects for you tonight, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek of Freebie Friday. So if you're not a newspaper, yeah, a newsletter subscriber, honestly, I've only been drinking water today. If you're not a newsletter subscriber, you might want to click that button in the description below when I show you the card that'll be the Freebie Friday this week. Okay. All right. So we are going to start with the easy stuff. And we're going to do one where we simply are running the Memento ink pad over after we emboss the cardstock. Isn't that gorgeous? I have a friend that was with me when I was creating these, and she actually did it on Lemon Lolly, and that was really pretty as well with the black. So we're going to have a base of crushed curry, and then we're going to use a layer of lemon lolly right there. I would have been smart had I cut my strip from Textured Notes out, but I was not that smart, so I did not do that. But we are going to go ahead and emboss one of the layers of basic white with the embossing folder. And we can kind of choose where we want to emboss. I want to make sure I get this large sunflower. So I'm going to emboss right about there, but you can place it however you want. I'm going in the portrait nope, I'm going in the landscape orientation. So I'm going to lay it in with the width being across that flower. Okay. And then we'll run that through. And this one I do have to obviously run through my larger machine. There is a frog in my throat that wants to come out and play with us. Oh my goodness. So we're going to run that through the larger die cutting machine. And then we have that embossed. And this one, I believe I used the deboss side for this one. There's like, do you ever get that feeling like you have a string or a hair or something? That's what's going on with my hand tonight if you see me rubbing it. Not sure why. And then you want a fairly well inked memento pad. Actually, let me lay a protective piece of paper down here. And let's do this. I'm doing the second card. So here we go. We'll flip it around later. Oh my goodness, I just realized that I'm doing the next card. So you got a sneak peek of the first one. Now we're working on the second one. I think that is gorgeous. What do you think? Just that easy, right? I promised simple stamping in July. So this one is very simple. Gorgeous, right? So that's what it looks like when you do it on basic white. We're going to do it on, I'm very confused. Can you tell? I think I did it on the wrong side. Let's try doing it on this side and see if we get what we're looking at. I just did this not that long ago. Nope, I'm still going to get. Well, here's a funny for you guys. I have no idea how I got that. Because it's definitely white paper that I'm using. But we're going to try it with a layer of black and see what happens. We're going to get about the same thing going on here. Yeah, I said this was simple and I'm making it really hard. So that's a little different because I did the embossed side. This is the debossed side. I love this side. I really don't know. So here's a third one for you and we'll figure it out at the end. How about that? We're going to keep going. And we're going to pop this on here anyway because I like that side. I'm going to flip it around. That side's okay too. But I like this side better. So we're going to go with this side. And this is the debossed side that I'm going to put up. I'm adding my adhesive onto the embossed side. Is Christy on here? She was with me when I was doing this. Yeah. Some days there's just too much in my head. Too many designs in my head, right? It's all right. We're still going to go with this. It's still going to be pretty, but it's going to give us a totally different look. So you will see just how many different ways we can do that. Ooh, before we mount that, we're going to bring in, now this is actually the Darling Duckling in color ribbon, which I think is really pretty. I don't see the green in this as much as I do in the cardstock, but I wanted to add some yellow ribbon, and this is about the only yellow that we currently have available. So we're going to wrap that around there like that. Okay, I'm going to cut that off. Hey, Jerry. Hi, Jeannie. Thumbs up for Lori. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yep, no mistakes in stamping, just opportunities for creativity. You are absolutely right, Carol. I say that all the time. All right, so we're going to pop this on here. And I'm going to bring in that die cut. Excuse me. That die cut from Textured Notes. And then this is a new, not 29 anymore. This is a funny birthday set. I think I shared this with you when I got it in my pre-order, but it has lots of tongue-in-cheek birthday greetings. I don't know about you, but I feel like you're not 29 anymore. It's all fun and games until your metabolism slows down. Oh yeah. Treat yourself because I didn't get you anything. Here's to another year of questionable decisions. Older but still cool, not wiser. Let's get this party started so I can be home and in bed by 9. Anybody else feel like that? And then so many candles. So, but this has a nice, bold, happy birthday in it. That's what we're going to use. I'm going to grab myself a block here. And my black ink again. Ideally, I do not want to put my fingers all over it. Drop that down so I can see it. And if you want a really nice, crisp black image, then absolutely, this would be a great opportunity to do heat embossing, right? Because that one's not quite as dark as my other one because I was at the nest working. I'm going to try it with a different memento. See if I can make that any darker because I'd like it to be a little bolder. See, I get myself all worked up when I get these technical difficulties. And then it just goes south quickly, right? This looks like it might give us a little bit bolder. Not necessarily straight, however. But we're going to go with that. That's a little bolder, I think. And I'm just going to mount that flat. Definitely stands out better on the dark black. And then we'll just make a quick little bow here. Because I did do that, but apparently it's gone off on its own. And these are the only kinds of bows that I tie. You know, if you watch me, you know I call them air bows because I tie them in the air. I don't tie them onto the project. And we'll grab a glue dot to mount that with. You know that's going to bug me now. But that certainly makes the sunflowers pop with the white, right? I'm going to have to figure that one out and do it another time because honestly, right now, I couldn't tell you how I got that black. And I'm also losing my screen again. So hopefully I am still on with you guys. But all right, so there is a different version of the first project. Definitely. That is definitely the deboss side. I am going to have to go back and play with that because I honestly don't remember. I thought I did. I thought I knew exactly what I was doing, but apparently I do not. Okay. Two different ways with stays on. And we'll figure the other one out in chain. And then I'm using Secret Sea and some Timid Tiger and some Balmy Blue. and craft white. Okay. So balmy blue is our card base. And if this one doesn't come out the way I think it should, I might have to say, I'll be back. We'll do this again. We're going to emboss our secret C. You know, that's my favorite in color right now. I'm not really sure why, but it definitely is. I just like that blue, I think. And when you compare, everybody says, oh, but it's just like Night of Navy. It's really not. You think that when you're just looking at it, but it's really not. We're going to go ahead and mount a layer of Timid Tiger on the inside. And we'll put our greeting in on our basic white. That's going to be done in Secret C. May all your wishes come true. That's from Unbound Love. As I should just do that before I close it. As is the happy birthday greeting. That's one of my favorite. If it's not long and straight, right, then I like this double-decker greeting, as I like to call it. And this oval, because we don't have an oval punch like that, right? And we don't have, well, we do have an oval die cut, but it's not in a set of ovals. It comes from the framed scenes, right? So this has the two different ovals. I use the smaller one. All right, so let's go ahead and mount our inside. Go. And then we are going to emboss this with the sunflower folder, of course. I'm not ignoring you. I can no longer see your comments, sadly. So that's why I'm not responding if you're typing things to me. I think Zoom heard me talking about the fact that I think I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think I need it anymore. And it decided to get an attitude with me tonight. Okay, so again, just gorgeous by itself. The depth of that silhouette is unbelievable. And then I'm going to bring back in my paper for protecting our work surface. We're going to grab our white craft ink. And we're just going to drag. All across the raised images. This one is working the way I anticipated it to work. The mysteries of life, right? Here we go. Isn't that pretty? Simple, pretty, quick. We're going to grab our Timid Tiger linen ribbon. Again, this is one of the in colors right now. And this is still a little wet, so I'm going to give that a second to dry. See if I can find your comments. Okay. Give that a second to dry. We're going to add some adhesive on the back so we can tack our ribbon down. And of course, another way to do this is to use Scotch tape or some kind of double-sided tape and tack your ribbon down on the back. I am a creature of habit. I've done it this way since I started stamping, which was a long, long time ago. 22 years, August 5th. I have been a demonstrator. And if you follow me, you know the story. right? I'm like, okay. My mom got me into it, went to a couple parties, had a party, whole 9 yards. And then the demonstrator contacted me after my party and said, "Oh, you really need to do this." And I'm like, no, no. So I did. I got in for 3 months to get the discount. Anybody else ever done that? And here we are 22 years later on the march to the million. And no end in sight. Now we're going to pop that on there. I wanted an oval, and that was the first thing I thought of, was I could use it from right there. So I was very happy to open up those frame seams and be able to grab an oval. And then we need our in color dots so that we can put on a timid tiger embellishment. And they don't want to come out either. My embellishments are used hard, as you can see. There we go. Just like that. Let me put these out of the way. And we already did this inside. So there's our inside. And there is our pretty. And wherever you place your cardstock, you're going to get that different relief in the background. So this one, my ink here for my craft was a little more than my ink down there, but I think both of those are really pretty. And the other one should have worked just like it was supposed to. Oh, okay. Thanks, Thelma. Good luck. I hope every day's better for him. All right, so there are those two. And then we're going to do one more, and then I'll give you that sneak peek into Freebie Friday. So this one I fussy cut. And I kind of regret cutting off the leaf here because it has that big gap between the petals, but I'm sure that would look perfectly fine in nature, right? Oh, thank you guys. Apparently the comments are working because I'm seeing very sweet comments. So what I'm going to do is I took a full half sheet, maybe a little bigger. I think this is 8.5 by 5 3/4. So it fills the entire embossing folder. That way you can choose which image you want to fussy cut out of the embossed cardstock. This is Daffodil Delight cardstock that I'm using. And of course, remember, this is a 3D folder, obviously, with the depth that we're getting. So when you do your sandwich, it's just your platform and your specialty plate, which is either the gray plate or the blue acrylic plate if you have one of the older ones. And then do you see the little bee I popped on there? They've been in and out of stock so much, I really don't know where they are in the stock world right now. But I thought he was cute. I might even stick him somewhere outside because he kind of disappears in there. So for my card, the one that I chose to use is this guy right here. And I literally just went in and cut all around on the embossed raised edges tight. So I didn't leave a border around, right? Tight to the embossing. And I worked my way the whole way around. And guess what? You're not going to have to sit there and watch me do that because I did one ahead of time. Oh, good. Thank you. Even though it didn't look exactly like it was supposed to. So I did go ahead and fussy cut that. You can see there's no edging. If there is, that was because I couldn't see it, but I think we're good. And we're going to add color, bring back in, and we're going to use sponge daubers. You could use your blending brushes. For me, sponge daubers seem to give me a little more control on what I was doing. And then let me get some of this other stuff out of the way that we don't need because it's killing my table. All right, I think I have all the ink pads. So we're going to use some pecan pie in the very center. Here, I might need to put on a pair of glasses. There goes the comments again. I do not know. I don't think I was supposed to go live tonight. So right in the center and even around those, if you catch those little things circling around, that's okay. The little image accents, right? Have that. Then we're going to use some early espresso around the rest of the center. And I will tend to do that so that I don't hit with a big blob of ink. Just like with my blending brushes, right? I come in off the edges to make sure that I'm not having a blob that I'm going to have to try to work out, smooth out, whatever you want to call it. Because we can always go back and add more color, but we can't take it away. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I just did get some on the bottom of the petals, but that's okay. And then I believe this is Daffodil Delight. So we're going to grab a Daffodil Delight ink pad, pop some of that ink off. I'm doing the embossed side for this. And I'm bringing that color from the center out. We can, again, go back and add where you need to bring that detail out. I did it after I cut it out. You could absolutely do it while it was still in the full or full half sheet of embossed cardstock, whichever way you're most comfortable with, right? But I mean, I had so many more ideas. I did have to stop because I was running out of time. I'm just going to try to cover up some of that darker brown there. I was running out of time to get prepared, so I have a couple more. So you may see some additional freebie Fridays down the road with this folder because I don't think there's any end to how many things you could do, right? Yep, that would be pretty too. Use that as a layer on your card front too if you did a whole panel with the gold embossing. Absolutely. All right, so already cut my label greeting out of my layer of daffodil. We're going to go ahead and mount this on our card front. Ooh. And I wanted more of that early espresso. Originally, I started out with a layer an eighth of an inch bigger, and I wanted more of the early espresso. So I cut that down to 5¼ by 4. And then there's our pretty flower. Like I have dimensionals. Where'd they go? Oh my goodness, Debbie, you're double teaming here. All right. I want to make sure this stands up, so we're going to add several dimensionals to the back. And of course, the reason I can share this with you tonight, right, is one of the perks of being a demonstrator is that you can get the products before they actually are available to the regular customer base. And that's what I did. This was part of my pre-order. So it's never a bad time to get that starter kit because you always get more for your money with the starter kit. And then, of course, Once you're a demonstrator, you earn your rewards just like you do as a customer. So you're not losing anything there. Plus, you get the discount. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I think that'll work. I don't want to go too high. And we're just gonna, usually I don't do this. Usually I like to cut my strips so that I'm not wasting that in the back. But for time and ease tonight, I'm gonna cheat and do that. Did anybody place an order today with the launch of the online exclusives? There are treat Halloween bags out there too, as well as a new birthday kit. So they're in my cart. I didn't close my order yet. I'm actually going to pre-order some stuff for my creativity delivered this month because some of the product that I want to use is on low inventory. That's always my fear, right? I do reserve the right to substitute if I need to, but I'm like, oh man, it'd just be easier for me to grab it now. Okay. And then I use this cute little tag, right? And that is part of the key tags to go dies. Don't some days my eyes are really good to read little and sometimes they aren't, but this is tags to go. This is part of a bundle. I chose not to get the stamp set. I just got the cute little tags. The keys I think are adorable. Fun things you can do there, especially if you like to do shadow boxes and things like that. This could turn into a lot of great ephemera for your shadow box. So it's not always just about stamping, right? Even though that's what we tend to do the most. At least I do. At least I do. And I know I've talked about doing some scrapbooking with you, but I'm just not I'm not a picture person. Um, and so I'm not a scrapbooker. And I guess I could just do layouts, not have to put pictures on them, but okay. So we've got this. We're going to go ahead and mount that in the center. I'm going to mount that flat. I'm not going to add dimensionals to that because I really want the flower to be what's popping off of our page. I'm going to line that up, hopefully in the center. I think that looks pretty good, right? Yeah, we got her straight. Then we're going to bring in some bling, if you will. And I'm using the textured dots. You can see I've used a lot of these. These are the adhesive back textured dots. And we'll grab my take your pick tool. Oh, that was very sweet. That you would do that to watch me. Thank you. I'm going to cover up that little hole. You'll never know it was there. And then hopefully line that up. Not quite. There we go. Directly across. So there's our happy birthday greeting on the outside. And then we're going to grab our let's celebrate to stamp on the inside. And we're also going to do that in, let's do that in pecan pie. Something a little different, right? Of course, that happy birthday on the front, that is from Loveliest Tree. My screen is frozen, so I really hope I'm on camera. I almost, when I couldn't get in, I almost thought, oh, I'm going to have to reschedule. Maybe I should have. Hopefully you guys are able to see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, so we're going to add a little bee yet, and we've got this one done as well. Oh, good. I'm glad because it's not letting me see much of anything. Okay, so we're gonna grab just one little guy. So what do you think? Let's see him down here on the wood grain. Flying the right direction would be good. There he is down there. Or do you like him? I don't know. Does he disappear? I feel like he disappears on the sunflower. But I don't know that he'd be hanging out on the wood grain either. Maybe if I put him there because it's a little bit darker. This one came out a little bit darker. What do you think? Give me your opinion while I try to find my tabletop. How about that? On the flower or on the background for the little bee? What do we say? I think I found my table now. What do we think? Thanks, Donna. On the flower, on the darker color. Yeah, I think he stands out a little bit better there. Here he kind of disappeared. All right, let me grab my little glue bottle. We're going to put him right down in here. I could put him right on the center too. Wait, let's look at that. He does not want to lay in the appropriate orientation now. I'm not sure I like that. I still think I like him up here the best if I'm going to do him on the flower. So that's where we're going to put our glue. I finally refilled this today. Honestly, I did. And it was flowing beautifully. Now, not so much. Well, that just goes with the with the whole theme of the live tonight, right? Nope. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out later. Let me grab a Tombow. See how little bit I can get out of here. I'm always scared when I do the big bottle because it flows so fast. Oh, there we go. That's a lot. That's a lot for the little bee. Okay. I think he might show up a little better there because he's down more in the dark area. So there we go. That is the third and final project. But I will give you a sneak peek as I promised. The reason I didn't do this one on camera, this one takes a bit of time, right? So this one I colored with watercolor pencils. Um, so yeah, and I'll have all the information in there on what colors and everything that I use. Did a little bit blending brush around the edge of the die cut for the greeting. That's from You Are Remarkable. Put a brass butterfly on that, and of course, brought in some of the white baker's twine. But that'll be your freebie Friday this week. So that'll be in the newsletter with all the information on what colors I use to do the flowers, the background, the leaves, etc. But I wanted to share that with you because it kind of goes with our theme tonight. Here we have our two different samples, and trust me, I'm going to figure it out. Don't know why. Just cause I couldn't get on, and then everything went south, right? All right, so there are what I was supposed to make, what I ended up making, and then the other two projects. And hopefully they are all showing up on camera for you as well, because I have been dead since that first card. Since I put the bow on, my screen has not moved. So, all right, guys, that is the beautiful new Sunflower 3D embossing folder. I hope you love it as much as I do. It's not one that I will be laying down anytime soon, I'm sure. And you may see some more projects with that as we move forward. But I appreciate you tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. And I appreciate the support. As Deborah said earlier, if you liked what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and make sure you ring the bell so you're notified when I'm live. Typically, I'm live Sunday nights at 8 p.m. And then Tuesdays, my publications say noon on Tuesdays, and I keep that time reserved. But I've had a lot of requests to come on Tuesday evenings at 8. So I've been trying to honor that as often as I can. I hope you have a great rest of the week. I hope the storms are over and none of us have to experience any more of that. We had tremendous flooding here in Pennsylvania as well, as I think they did down in Maryland. So, yeah, a little wicked summer storms, right? They get us every time. All right. I will see you all soon. Have a great night. Good rest of your week. And I'll be back on Sunday night. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.